Welcome back. I am Collins Trott, Child Development Faculty on the Wallace Community College Dothan campus. In this episode, we are going to be learning about planning and assessment as it relates to social studies. If social studies is to be meaningful and totally integrated into children's culture, background of experiences, and social interactions, the teacher must base their knowledge of the children, knowledge of the community in which they live, and knowledge of the social studies make their own curriculum for small children. After reviewing all of the week's content, you should be able to link children's development to planning for social studies, explain how the nature of the community where children live affects planning, and discover benefits of teaching through themes, units, and projects. So join me, Miss Trott, as we learn all about planning and assessment. Knowledge of children, their development, life experiences, and the community in which they live is essential to bringing children and the social studies together. The social studies curriculum must hold meaning and interest for each child and be based on children's first-hand interactions with their immediate environment. Children are alike. They have similar needs and are active learners, and they pass through the same stages of thought. However, although they are alike, they are also different as individuals. Each child has unique experiences, interests, abilities, and some have special needs. Teachers must become aware of the nature of the here and now world in which children live. Then they must develop knowledge of the cultural and values of the community. Just as teachers cannot plan a social studies curriculum without knowledge of child growth and development, they cannot successfully implement it without knowledge of the community. Teachers must be aware of the child's physical world as well as their cultural knowledge and values. Knowledge of the social studies disciplines and their key concepts is important so that teachers can make this enormous amount of information accessible to children. National and state standards provide a framework for planning. Teachers will still need to adjust the standards to provide for the needs of individual children, match the resources in their community, and offer developmentally appropriate learning experiences. Teachers must do both short and long-term planning. This includes involving the children, which implies cooperation between teacher and child. It does not mean that the children take over. Teachers must also plan for the spontaneous teachable moments. When teachers ignore the changing interests, immediate needs, or incidental experiences of children, they miss too many opportunities for teaching, and children miss opportunities to follow their curiosity and have their needs for knowledge met. Lesson plans are created for short-term, day-to-day learning experiences, while units or projects are planned for learning experiences that extend over time. Learning experiences are the heart of a unit or project. These experiences are not isolated activities, but are planned to foster the goals and objectives of the unit. Ways to plan lessons, units, and projects are described in this chapter. The children's successes with the social studies curriculum can be assessed through observation, portfolios, informal and performance interviews, checklists, and standardized tests. Now, let's review what we've learned. Planning is essential for successful teaching and learning. Having a clear idea of what children are like, the goals of society and education, and content knowledge of the social studies, you are prepared to plan. In planning, you must consider the reality of your situation, provide balance throughout the program, involve the children, and allow for spontaneity. Long-term planning of social studies units and short-term planning of daily lessons involves designing appropriate learning objectives. In setting specific goals for your teaching and children's learning, assessment follows naturally as you assess the degree to which the goals have been reached. That wraps us up for this episode. You can learn more about this topic by reviewing the resources posted in your course. As always, if you have any questions, please contact me or your instructor. Thanks for joining me, Miss Trott, as we learned about planning and assessment. See you next time.